divorced parents, addiction in my family, like nobody was a business owner, family was separated, and that really fired me up because I was like, okay, I know what I don't want in my life, and I have the pain. People are driven by pain or pleasure. I had the pain to realize, okay, I know what I want to create in my life. But if we're really clear and we're productized, then we're able to fulfill it a lot quicker. Like if you don't have a team, this is how you can start to plant a vision for who I'm going to hire to help fulfill this specific task. We're selling the vacation. We're selling the outcome of how you can solve their pain points. But if we don't identify them, we don't label them, they don't know what they are, then there's nothing really to sell, there's nothing really to solve. Now, sitting behind a guy who was probably in his mid-50s, and he was hammering LinkedIn, hammering Instagram, like searching for somebody. And he was likely going to go meet them because 80% of people, before they decide to do business with someone, they're gonna do their research, okay? So how are we showing up? If you Google yourself, like what comes up? So how many of you guys do a service for people? A lot of you guys, cool. So this will speak a lot to you. So I'm not a public speaker. I don't claim to be a public speaker. I'm a coach. So this is going to be very coaching heavy, very teaching heavy. It's going to hopefully, it's going to fire hose you for sure. There's going to be a lot of information. But what I want you guys to do as you guys are listening, as you guys are seeing a bunch of slides, is I want you to think about the one thing that I can pull away from this presentation. There's going to be a lot of pillars. There's going to be a lot of information. So just think about what's the one thing that I can implement in my business as I'm getting going as an entrepreneur and execute this week, execute tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of resources in here that will help you get from where you are to hopefully where you want to be, all right? Good to go? Good to go? Let's go. Okay. So there's the term entrepreneur thrown around quite a bit, right? Like everybody wants to be the entrepreneur, everyone wants to be there. And when I was doing a quick Google search, there's 582 million entrepreneurs. I go on Instagram, everybody's an entrepreneur, everybody's flexing, right? But the problem that I see is that a lot of entrepreneurs begin to juggle, like they're jugglers, right? Do you ever feel like you're juggling in your business, doing everything? You're doing the marketing, sales, accounting, operations, all the things. It's kind of overwhelming. It's a little bit hard. You feel like you're everywhere. You're doing everything for everybody. Is that anybody? Yep. And then what happens is you end up burning out because you are like there's no end in sight for your business because you're doing so many things. You're so in the business that you don't have time to actually work on the business. So you end up being like this guy right here, which is a hamster. You're on a hamster wheel. You're going, right? So does anybody feel like that in their business sometimes where you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get out of this? What do I do? Cool. And then also the income cap, right? We only have so many hours in the day that I can physically do work for people. And if I'm not, like, how am I ever going to scale past a certain income if I'm not leveraging tactics to work myself out of the business so I can work more on the business? Because we don't want to end up like this. We want to come home being like this, okay? Is everyone relating to this a little bit? Cool. So today I want to give you guys the blueprint on how to scale to 7 figures by getting out of the grind of entrepreneurship, being an operator, to becoming an orchestrator and working on your business. Does that sound good? I'm going to go through 6 pillars. There's going to be a lot of information just like I said, all right? Are we ready? Cool. Before we get into it, we're going to say, who is this Austin guy on screen? Well, I'm from Seattle, came down to give this talk to give you guys some free information, some good information. And yeah, so let's get into it. So first real business was Brantegic, which was a marketing agency, so video production, social media, doing all that stuff. Started in my apartment, and this was our first office. Then we scaled to about $2 million a year, doing $200,000 plus a month, grew to a team. We had a studio, a big office, 7,500 square feet just outside of Seattle, which was pretty fun to build. Also been 100% commissioned since I was 20 years old, so kind of had to learn along the way, how do I sell, how do I work myself out of the business, how do I produce income, how do I do all that stuff. This was my first job selling advertising for TV. And then 20 million plus in sales generated. Now I coach agencies kind of how to work themselves out of their business, get out of the agency grind. Also endurance athlete, like to inflict pain on myself, Ironman, 100Ks, running all the time, whatever it could be. I enjoy that. Did the Grand Canyon twice, which was fun. And I'm a really, really good salesperson because I convinced my wife to marry me, which there's not photos there, but she's right there. She's beautiful. Okay, there we go. That's the sign of a good salesperson. All right, okay. But I'm probably a lot like you. Like, grew up not an entrepreneur bone in my bone or my body, right? Divorced parents, addiction in my family. Like, nobody was a business owner. Family was separated. And that really fired me up because I was like, okay, I know what I don't want in my life, and I have the pain, people are driven by pain or pleasure, I had the pain to realize, okay, I know what I want to create in my life, okay? Does anybody relate to that? Cool. Okay, so we're gonna go through the blueprint now. First up is going to be offer. So when I was first starting Brantegic and starting an entrepreneurial journey, I was a yes man. Has everybody seen the movie Yes Man? Where you're saying yes to everybody? Cool. Yeah, I'll do video for you. I'll do your social media. I'll do your graphics. I'll take your kids to school, whatever it could be, as long as I can get some money because I'm scrappy. I'm trying to grow my business here, right? But what that led to was burnout because I was doing so many things for everybody and I was just working in the business all the time. And the root of it really is it's fear of missing out, right? We don't want to miss out on like an opportunity. We don't want to miss out on that $500 to this. We don't want to miss out on the $200 to this because I wasn't clear on my offer, okay? This is what I looked like. So as we're entrepreneurs, as we're business people, we want to make sure that our offer is clear with who we're actually talking to. So like, let's just take this for example. If my marketing message, if I'm talking to doctors, real estate agents, lawyers, attorneys, you're going to confuse all three of them with a marketing message because they're not going to know, do you serve doctors? Do you serve lawyers? Do you serve real estate agents? Okay, does that make sense? Let's take this for example, like take you. Let's just say you have a back surgery coming up and you have the option to go to doctor number one who does the back surgery, the wrist surgery, the shoulder surgery, they do foot surgery, whatever it could be. Or you could do option B, who's Dr. Jim, the back surgeon LLC, and all they do is back surgery. Who are you going to? Who would you spend a little bit more money to go see, right? The specialist, right? If we're generalists in our offer, in what we're doing for people, it's not going to be a message that's going to resonate to the people that you actually can serve, okay? In addition, you're gonna have to create like if I'm serving three different types of customers, then I'm gonna have to create three different types of systems, three different types of marketing messages to speak to these people, to speak to the pain points that I can then serve them, okay? Making sense? Cool. So what we don't want is the dead end. So when I think about like an offer, like if I'm serving somebody, we need it to be clear, okay? We need it to be productized, and we need it to be priced for profit from the jump, okay? So clear. It solves very specific pain points of your niche that you can clearly articulate, empathize with them, and communicate with them, okay? So quick little thing that you guys can take a picture of is I help Avatar, struggling with pain points, achieve desired outcome using our unique mechanism, okay? So for me, I help agency owners struggling to get out of the agency grind scale to $50,000 a month by going from operator to orchestrator using our new era agency protocol. Okay, for you guys, or whatever business you are, I help families struggling with inadequate coverage and high premiums achieve peace of mind and financial security using our custom-tailored insurance optimization plan. Okay? I help millennials build long-term wealth through strategic real estate investments using our millennial wealth building blueprint. Okay? Do you see how that message could really resonate if you have a pain point or if you're a millennial and you have a unique mechanism of doing that? Right? If we're generalists, we're not speaking to a lot of people. Okay? Real estate agents. I help first-time home buyers struggling with credit issues, down payment challenges, etc. Okay? Make sense on the productized or on the clear? Okay, next is productized. So in my space, like as an agency, like we can do, okay, we're gonna do, this video, we're gonna do this video and then graphics and social media for this person. Okay, this one, or if I'm like a cleaner, if I'm cleaning solar panels, okay, we're gonna clean solar panels. Oh yeah, I can do your gutters too. Yeah, I can do like your landscaping, whatever it could be. Because again, we're going back to the saying yes to everything. But if we're really clear and we're productized, then we're able to fulfill it a lot quicker. I think about in and out, right? Like if they didn't have, like their menu is small because they've productized everything that they do. They can hammer out the burgers, they can hammer out the sandwiches, they can hire the staff, they can hire the staff to create a really good system that somebody can then follow. Okay, following? Cool. And then lastly is price for profit. And this is where how you can actually operationally work yourself out of the business. So like, let's just say, I'm gonna use an agency example, but think about this for your business, however you're doing it. So let's just say our offer is we're gonna do a monthly strategy call, we're gonna do quarterly lifestyle photos, we're gonna do content ideas, we're gonna do one shoot per month, we're gonna do 10 videos per month, we're gonna post them all, and we're gonna do engagement for you, okay? This is a lot of services that you could probably do for them, right? But what we wanna do is we wanna price to delegate. because what we don't want to happen is we don't want to be in the trap of I'm doing all this stuff all the time and I'm stuck because I'm spending so many hours doing it. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do this. So first that we want to do is we want to itemize everything that we're doing for somebody. So whatever your offer is, whatever your service is to somebody, we need to make a list of every intricate detail that is going to go into it. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, who's going to do that? And maybe you have a team now, maybe you don't have a team now, but this is, like if you don't have a team, this is how you can start to plant a vision for who I'm going to hire to help fulfill this specific task. So in this case, there's 3 people here, or 4 people, okay? Next, we're gonna associate hours with it. Okay, how long should I expect this person to take doing this? Okay, then we gotta pay them. How much should I pay this person to do this? And then that's gonna give us our COGS, which is our cost of goods sold. Like, what's the cost of goods sold, or how much do you think it costs Apple to make a laptop? It's probably not what I paid for it because they made a profit. So what is the cost of goods sold of your service? That's how we're productizing it, right? And then we need to upsell to our clients. We need to make a margin. We need to make profit. So if I'm paying somebody $50 an hour to do something, I should charge a client $150 to do it because I need to make 66.66% profit so that I can then go get an office, go buy trucks, go buy better equipment, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, following? And then that gives us our profit, right? So of 66.66. Okay, so now we have essentially our org chart in order to fill if we're going to do this, who we're gonna hire to do this. And we also have how much it's going to cost, how much money we're gonna make, how much it costs me as a business owner to do this, and our profit. Like for this, we make $1,719 in profit for a $2,500 price point if we sell this and if we delegate every single thing, okay? So you guys tracking on how you can start to like delegate and get things off of your plate and still treat people well and pay people and create jobs, okay? So if I sell 10 clients this one offer, that's $25,000 in revenue and $17,000 in profit. And that's me delegating everything. That's how you can have the freedom to serve. That's how you can have the freedom to spend more time at church, spend more time with your family, not being in the business, not being burnt out. Like I've been there, okay? This is how we go from the entrepreneur to CEO, okay? This is how we buy back our time, become a CEO. This is the foundation of scale. Okay, so for you guys, if you guys scan this, I'm gonna send this out to you. So we should have your emails and there's gonna be a lot of resources throughout this. So I'll make sure that this gets to everybody so you guys can access it. Cool, offer, we clear on offer? Cool. Next is lead gen. So when I was first starting Braintegic, it was very much word of mouth and referrals as we were getting going, which is great. But what happened was it was up, down, right? It was, okay, when is the next deal gonna come through? When is the next deal gonna come through? And guess what? I became the bottleneck of the business because it all came through me as a business owner. Right? That's great as you're just getting going because that's how a lot of people will start their business. But I was the bottleneck because everything came from me and everything ultimately fell back on me as we were starting to grow. Also tried the paid ads, and ad costs are rising like 180% when it comes to like Facebook ads and like TikTok ads and stuff like that. It's inexpensive. And in addition, you're pretty much a slave to Facebook for your next deal. So I knew I needed something that automated, that I could sit and forget, scalable, and I could literally reach thousands every single day. And that's where we built out what's called the AI Outbound funnel. And this is literally responsible for full calendars for our sales team and literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of income, okay? So basically, explaining it is we find a list of prospects, we reach out to them using our copy, and then we try to get a positive reply, and anybody who has a positive reply will then convert to a call and then convert to a sale. Okay, pretty simple, right? We're not a slave to Facebook. We're not relying on like the next person I need to meet to feed me a deal. We're going out and we're finding prospects, okay? So the breakdown of how we, from a numbers perspective, broke this down is like, okay, cool. If I can email 30,000, if I can make 30,000 emails every single month, I know that it would lead to an 80% open rate, 3% reply, 25% of the replies are gonna be positive, 30% of them are gonna be a booked appointment, and 20% are gonna be the deal, okay? If I hit these numbers, this is exactly how I produce income, and I can do it predictably, so I'm not worried about when the next deal is gonna come from or who's gonna refer me the next deal, okay? So I knew if I did this, I would get 11 sales per month. And let's just say our offer was $6,000, that's $66,000 a month, predictably, by going out and getting the business, right? We're predictably generating revenue. We're predictably getting leads so that we can then grow our business. So how do we do this? So first things first is we hired so basically the 4 pillars. Let's see if this works. It's not wanting to connect. Might have to stay here. Okay, so 4 pillars: list building, outbound setup, and AI copy. So list building, basically what we did is we hired a $4 an hour VA to create a list of potential people that we could reach out to that could use our service. So if we're cleaning solar panels, okay, give me a list of all the homeowners and give me their phone numbers, give me their emails, whatever that could be. Okay, cool. Then the next thing that we did is we bought some email domains and we created an email campaign that we could start sending from to generate business. We're in the B2B business, so it's really easy to find like CEOs' names and like their emails and stuff. And we use AI copy to send an email offering value to these business owners of a specific problem that we identified in our offer that we could solve for them. And then we would then funnel them through an appointment and get them on a call and add value to them and then close them, okay? So from like a copy perspective, like what's worked really well for us is like, hi, first name, personalized line, love what you're doing in blank, blank, blank business, cool. Reason for my reach out is we help roofers get 5 to 10 new clients per month without spending $1 in ads or slaving away with follow-ups using our social roofer system. Can I send you more info on how you do the same? So really the idea is we're taking a big chunk of people and trying to get as many as we can to raise their hand so that we know that, okay, this person is in fact interested in us solving their pain point. And then we do the mechanism, get them on a call. Okay, another piece of copy, etc. Does everybody know who Alex Hormozi is? A lot of people. Like, this is the same thing that he does. And I was encouraged when he just did his book launch. He literally had a huge thing on outbound sales, and generating leads using outbound, okay? Same system that a lot of people in our group are using to generate business, Matt being one of them, and generating business by going out and getting it, okay? And not being the bottleneck in your business, okay? And for this, we need to A/B test, we need to monitor, we need to optimize, but what this leads to, it'll lead to more meetings, a full pipeline, and ultimately peace of mind for you guys. Like, how do we go out and get the business? You guys following? Cool. And you guys can scan this QR code, you can get the same list building process, you can get the AI outbound funnel, you can get copy, you can get personalized lines, all that stuff so that you guys can start implementing this ASAP. Cool, good to keep going? Sweet, okay. Lead gen, next is sales. So the third pillar is going to be sales. Okay, reality is if we don't have sales, we don't have a business, right? When I was starting an agent, or when I was starting Braintegic, I was like, yeah, I can close anybody. I'm good. Like, we're good. I'm confident. Most of the people were word of mouth referrals, so they knew me, they trusted me. But it's one thing to convert people who are knowing you, but it's another to convert somebody who has no idea who you are and a cold prospect into somebody who trusts you, into somebody who can actually become a client of yours. Okay, if we want to scale outside of our circle, outside of our network, and get people who don't know anything about us to an actual client, we need to learn sales. Okay, so a good sales process will increase your show rates. So in our business, we do Zoom calls to close deals. It'll increase the quality of leads. Like, we all like quality of leads. Like, who likes jumping on a call and they're a bad lead and they end up going nowhere? Yeah, nobody likes that. And it scales trust, right? We're in a game where people work with who they know, who they like, who they trust, and how you can do that quickly is through a good process, and of course will increase conversion. So our sales process, this is what works for us. So if you guys are selling, you can use something very similar to how you guys do it. If you can implement this, this will achieve all 4 of these things. So first things first, before you even talk to the prospect, like let's just say, like in our business, we book a call with them. Like, we're sending pre-call reminders. So we have a 48-hour email, 48-hour text message. We send them a video to watch. We do a 24-hour email, and we do a 2-hour text reminder. Just remind them, okay, what are we talking about? We can pre-sell them by sending them what's called a video sales letter, a little bit about our company, so they know what they're about to get into. Okay, we do this completely automated, so I'm not like manually texting people, which is through a CRM. Then we have a call where we just follow a framework. Like, if I want to close somebody, I need a framework on how I do it versus like, hey, how was your day? Okay, cool. Yeah, here's what we do. Like, that's not how we can actually get somebody to trust us and to help solve their pain points. So the framework that we use, a simple framework that you guys can use, is the closer framework, which is from Hormozi. So clarify why they're there. Oh, what made you jump on a call today? Like what prompted that? And they're like, I just wanted to hear what you had to say. No, like you're spending 30 minutes of your time. Like what made you jump on it? I'm just tired of like these dirty solar panels and on my like roof being like messy. Okay, cool. Now you have the problem that you can solve. Cool. Sounds like your solar panels are like dirty. And then what we want to do is overview the past. What have you tried in the past? Oh, well, I've like gotten the ladder. I've like bought all these products and they just can't seem to get clean. Okay, perfect. Now we're digging into their pain points, right? So the more that we can identify the pain points of our ideal customer, dig into it by reviewing what they've done in the past. Oh, wow, like you bought a ladder? No kidding. Like, how did that go? Oh, it was like horrible. It was like wet out. It was like nasty. It like didn't work out. They didn't even get clean. Oh, wow. Like, what do you think? Like, that's crazy. Like, that's amazing that you guys are doing that. And then they're feeling the pain, right? And that's where we can then sell the vacation. What if we came in and like we just did everything for you and like it'd only take like an hour for us to do everything and we can just do it right now, right here, right now. Oh, cool, like perfect. We're selling the vacation. We're selling the outcome of how you can solve their pain points. But if we don't identify them, we don't label them, they don't know what they are, then there's nothing really to sell, there's nothing really to solve. So that's the framework that we use. And then of course, explain away the concerns. Oh, but it costs too much. Oh, but you wanna go and buy ladders and more equipment? Okay, cool, it's perfect. Then it's by identifying the problems and overviewing what they've done, you have the ammo to pretty much just reinvigorate and like identify exactly what their problems were so that you can then leverage that when you're talking to them. Okay? Make sense? Closure framework? Cool. Then we just like literally have a document that I'll follow. Like if I'm gonna jump on a sales call, then our sales team will just like have this in front of them and then they'll just like use this so that it's productized and it doesn't take a lot of mental guesswork. And then we have a presentation that we'll go through that's like pretty simple that we'll review. It's the same thing over and over again. So it's, again, simple. I'm not reinventing the wheel. It doesn't take me 3 hours to prep for a sales call. I just need to pull the notes up and pull up the presentation. Okay, cool. After we have the call, next thing we want to do is post-call. So after a call, let's just say they don't close, like what we'll do is we'll send a recap email with like a Loom video. So like what we can do is great chat today, see below points we discussed, selling prop 1, selling prop 2, selling prop 3. Click here for a recording of our call for what we went over. As discussed, we'll chat with you again on this date. Okay, simple touch point that helps nurture them and get them from point A to point B. Okay, cool, what's next? After the call, then we nurture them. So we have organized follow-up, we have a nurture campaign, so we use a CRM, like pretty basic stuff. But if you guys are not having a CRM, this is the time to start considering one and think about one so you can nurture them, that you can organize your leads, and you can go back to them. It takes a lot of touches for somebody to go from interested to an actual customer. And if we're not organized with it, then we're gonna forget about it, okay? We're leaving money on the table. Cool, so that's the four parts of the sales process. Cool. And if you scan this, you can get like a 30-day trial to a CRM that I use, the sales framework that I just had on the screen, post-call email, and all that good stuff. Again, if you don't get it right now, then we'll send this out to you guys. Cool, first 3 pillars done. Temperature check, are we good to keep going? This is a lot of information. This is a lot, fire hose, okay. Cool, the fourth pillar is brand. So every entrepreneur, myself included, we have a to-do list, right? Try not to get too overwhelmed. Do all the client work. Take some sales calls, fulfillment for clients, send the invoice, follow up with Jared. And on the end is always build a brand. Okay, today in 2023, the modern day resume is social media. Sorry. For those who hate social media, that's how we're going to be able to like have our clients' first impression. I always tell a story. I was on a plane like a couple months ago, and I was sitting behind a guy who was probably in his mid-50s, and he was hammering LinkedIn, hammering Instagram, like searching for somebody. And he was likely going to go meet them because 80% of people, before they decide to do business with someone, they're gonna do their research, okay? So how are we showing up? If you Google yourself, like what comes up? Like hopefully something put together, hopefully the problems that you can solve if you are in business, right? Because the reality is you have a brand whether you know it or not, okay? Somebody thinks, like when somebody says your name, they think about something. Like that's pretty much what a brand is. But we have the ability to control it, right? So if we think about these brands, like what do we think about? Microsoft, okay, tech, Nordstrom, okay, like luxury, okay, Comcast, maybe like bad customer service, Lululemon, yoga pants, cool. And when people think about you, what do they think about? When they think about your business, what do they think about? Okay? So, without a brand, we're literally always going to be competing on price because we're not trusted. People work with who they know, who they like, who they trust. We're always going to have to build trust with the cold prospects. We're not going to be seen as an authority, and we're going to miss out on business. Okay? Again, people work with who they know, who they like, and who they, you guys, know, like, and cool. So if we knew that 4.9 billion people are on social media, more than 4,000 or 46% that they would pay more for a brand that they trust, and shared values are a driving factor in 64% of customer brand relationships, like, why would I not double down on social media, double down on my brand? Because that's going to drive a lot of business for me, okay? At the end of the day, there we go. At the end of the day, the best known will be the best, okay? It's a hard truth for a lot. The more known you are, like the more known business person will always beat the best business person in a lot of instances, okay? Cool. So this is where we get into the authority funnel. So the authority funnel is meant to scale trust. It's meant to help you become more known, increase the perceived value of your business. Who wants that? We all want that, right? And then also attract the whale clients, the big clients, because they trust you and they've seen you, right? So basically, all we're doing is we're adding value to people, which leads to engagement on our social media, which is Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you are, which is going to allow them to trust you. Then you engage with them, and then they become a client. Okay? Fairly simple, right? But it doesn't need to be too complex, okay? So from a social content strategy, before we even start, we need to know, okay, what are the customer pain points? Because if we're talking in a general term, we're not going to speak to anybody like what we just mentioned, right? The back surgery, we want to be a specialist, not a generalist, okay? Who is our avatar? Who are we actually talking to in our content? Like shared values, etc. Your values, what makes you human? Kingdom-minded, okay? Entrepreneur, like endurance sports. I attract people like that, okay? And then your unique mechanism, naming it, and then lower your expectations because this is a long game. But over time, it will build trust. Okay, so easy, like simple content strategy that you can do. Monday, I'm gonna add value to the people. I'm gonna talk to their pain points that I've identified in my offer, right? Easy. Tuesday, I'm gonna do something that shows that I'm human. Picture with my wife, picture of me running, whatever it could be. Wednesday, I'm gonna continue to add value. Thursday, I'm gonna show some client wins. Oh, John, got a deal from Instagram in our business, right? Like that's how we can show that we're actually creating the value for our customers, and then we add value to them, right? We want to add value to people because if I'm thinking about, let's just say, buying a house, I'm going to go towards the person who has invested a lot of time giving me value through social media, and there's the rule of reciprocity, which is like subconsciously we're going to be like, okay, cool, this person knows what they're talking about. They've given me so much value. I'm going to add the value back to them by doing business with them. Okay, same thing goes for you. Like we talked a lot about here, your network is your net worth. You can build that on social media, and you can reach 100 times the amount of people as you would if you were going to a networking event or getting coffees with people all day. Okay, cool. Another issue that I see is people do this when they think about social media. They're like, oh my gosh, I got to be out on social media and be vulnerable and talk and all that stuff. Really what's helped me is just planning accordingly, right? Like the people who are the most nervous, the people who like just avoid it the most are the people who probably just aren't planning for it, and pretty simple to do. So first things first is like a topic. Like we have templates that we're going to share with you, but like what if you could desire without pain, okay? Worried about pain points? Here are the top questions I get about how to desire. Like pretty simple stuff that you probably already know that you could just share on a post on social media to help your business and add value to customers at the end of the day. Okay? And as far as like a framework, like if we're doing an Instagram video, like what we'll do is we'll be like, okay, hook, we need a hook, like that's the hook. Our attention span is less than a goldfish these days. So if we don't have a hook to hook them in, people are gonna scroll past. People watch 15 TikToks a minute, they're just doing this. How are we gonna stop them in their tracks? By hitting on their pain points. And then hook 2.0 is to keep their attention. Then we're doing content. A lot of people wanna use jargon, fancy words, sound really smart, like put a lot of pressure on themselves, but we want to talk to beginner because we are talking to beginners in content, especially in business, right? Okay, So for example, here's how to get, like this is something that we would do at Brand TJ, okay? Here's how to get 5 new clients using video. And I know this might sound too good to be true, but let me explain. Okay, if I'm a business owner and I'm trying to grow my client base and I just gave them value on how they can do that using video, like that's going to speak to them, right? And the Hook 2.0 is simple. It's just, and I know this might sound too good to be true, but let me explain. Okay, we have ChatGPT. Does everybody use ChatGPT? A lot of y'all. So we have a ChatGPT prompt here. So what I'll do is I'll just plug this prompt into ChatGPT and let that do all the work for me. Pretty simple, okay? And then when I'm filming, I'll use a teleprompter. So I don't need to sit there and remember what I need to say. I'll use this app called Captions, which I think is like $14.99 a year or something like that. And it'll literally tell me exactly what I need to say from the script that ChatGPT gave me. So design beats willpower. We now have the design, we have the hook, we have the pain points of our customers, we know what they're struggling with. Now we just need to execute, right? Easy? Cool. This is a compound effect, and it takes time, it takes consistency. You gotta put the work in to see the results, all right? If you guys are at the next level, then delegate this. Like delegate to Shortcut, and for quality, hire my guy Matt. He knows what he's doing. He'll make you look as good as you absolutely are. Cool. Again, consistency wins. These are things that, our students in agency who are literally getting $12,000 deals just from posting on social media in their video space. Like no joke. It seems really simple, but there's the design that's going to beat the willpower, and then it takes you guys to execute, all right? Same thing for us. Like we've literally worked with billion-dollar companies, gotten 5-figure retainers, layup sales, $2 million of inbound business just by building a brand online and posting content. It is a worthwhile investment for you guys. If you guys are in business, post content, build a brand, you have a brand, control it with a design like this. Okay, so here's where you can grab all the tools on building a brand: content calendar, GPT prompts, hooks, and much, much more. Cool, guys. All right, offer, lead gen, sales, brand. Next up is we're gonna talk about systems, okay? Again, I talked about this in the beginning, where we feel like we're juggling a lot, right? We're doing everything in our business: the sales, the fulfillment, client success, accounting, content, right? Right? We all feel like this. We're jugglers as a business people, right? And what a lot of people think is like, oh, it's grind time. Like I'm grinding. This is what I do. Like I'm grinding. Like I'm 24/7. Wake up early and just get after it. But again, we're going to be on the hamster wheel if we continue this way. And we're going to end up burning out. We're going to end up being tired. This is the same thing that I did. And I took a lot of pride in it. I was like, okay, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m., start working, stop at 8 p.m. But what happened is I had no friends, broke up with my girlfriend, now wife at the time. I wasn't present. I didn't have time to do anything. I was overwhelmed all the time, and it was a dead end until I started building systems that I could teach somebody else to follow, okay? And the hard truth is that if you're too busy to build good systems, then you're always going to be too busy. So if you guys are busy entrepreneurs, what I would suggest is time block a day where you can start building systems. And how we build systems is we literally take what's in our brain and put it into paper, okay? Again, scalability is repeatability. We talked about in and out. If we looked at McDonald's, like this is a picture that I found just online, like this is their assembly line. Like this is their process of doing things, of how they help customers get from A to B. If they didn't have a process, if they didn't have a systems, it would be a mess back there, right? And they wouldn't be able to repeat what they do. But they have a proven process that they train people on, that the people execute. Okay? Easy? Makes sense? Cool. So first step is I would recommend getting like a tool, like we use a tool called Notion, which is where all the resources that I just gave to you are. And I'll organize the tool by departments at my company. So we have social media management, we have accounting, we have photography, we have videography, okay? And then what I'll start to do is I'll start to create SOPs and start to add resources for those people, for those departments, from what I'm doing in my day-to-day, and put them in there. So from like a standard operating procedure, like what I do, what I have in my tool is like client management. Okay, what's the deal with these clients? Could be a CRM, whatever that could be. So like we have all the essentials here. And then project management. So like let's just say I'm doing solar cleaning, for example, using that again. It's like, okay, what's the status on this project? What's the status on this project? How long did it take to get done? What's the, like, how does somebody follow it? How do you stay updated as the work is being done with you not actually doing it? Because we all want to handle it ourselves, but in order for somebody else to do it, they need to be set up with a system that you can teach them that they can do on their own, okay? So that's what that looks like. And then SOP library. So what your idea as an entrepreneur and a business owner is, how do I get stuff off my plate so that I'm not just answering questions all day and I can just direct them to a resource? Like that should be like the dream goal of any business owners. Like, how do I get them operating just fluidly so that they're just going to a resource if they have any questions and I'm not needing to sit there and answer questions all day. And that's how you buy back your time, okay? And then of course, CRM. Cool. Again, systems run the business and people run the systems. Okay, if we can think about it this way, this is how we can start to operationalize our business and get stuff off our plate so that we can then delegate and build an actual business and not be on that hamster wheel that we've seen a few times. Cool. So here's client directory, SOP examples, etc. Again, no pressure to scan this right now. We'll send this out to everybody. Okay, we just did the 5 pillars. We got one more left. Last pillar is going to be hiring. So a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, myself included, it's like, oh, I'm starting to rack up some money. I'm like making some money now. I want to keep it all to myself, right? They have the little bit of a scarcity mindset. They don't think or maybe they don't think that they're capable of providing, because it's a lot to hire somebody. It's a lot of pressure because now you're responsible for putting money to somebody else, which feeds their family, which feeds them. It's a lot of pressure for you guys, right? Or you're not set up as a hire, or it takes time, etc. But I think this is like the biggest thing, as especially a kingdom entrepreneur. Like, this is the opportunity for us to be disciples for other people, to build other people up, to create jobs, like that was like for us, we hired a lot of people from our church that I knew because I knew they were like-minded and I could feed into them. And it was not just a opportunity for me to give them work, but opportunity for me to disciple them and lead them and help be that light for them. So I think you guys are called to that too, especially in the entrepreneur space. So let's go back. We have our offer, right? That's now productized, like we did that. We know our pricing. We know that we can afford to delegate. We can afford to hire people. We know how to create new business because we have lead gen systems in place, right? We have systems that somebody can follow, which was the last pillar that we went over. Now it's time to leverage people to work the systems so that we can focus on getting new business. Okay, this is how we go from the entrepreneur to the CEO, all right? So this was me, 60 hours a week, 8 hours of onboarding, 10 hours of shooting, 15 hours of sales, 5 hours of graphic design, 2 hours of, okay, you get it. I was doing a lot of different things, and it was taking a lot of time because I was doing so many things until I realized, okay, I can hire some of this stuff out and buy back some of my time. So that's what I did. I took my time from 60 hours of in the business to 23 hours of on the business, which freed up my time to work on things that mattered in my business, which was the onboarding, sales, management, operations, and vision as a CEO. Okay? That's what we want to build ourselves into. Okay? How do we hire people? Okay? So steps that we've used to hire our dream team, which has worked really well, is we have what's called a talent acquisition system. So we don't just like post a job and like spray and pray and like hopefully people will come that are good. What we do is we'll post the job just like the AI outbound funnel. Like, we want to get as many people as possible interested in this. And we're not going to sit there and like go through all these applicants. We'll actually direct them to what's called an intake form. And the intake form essentially is an application that's a little bit more detailed that we can filter who we're looking for to get highly qualified candidates and just work off of that intake form of why people want to work here, what's their vision for their life, how much do they charge, all that stuff. And simply like our sale is getting somebody to fill out the intake form. Because we want a lot of people. Like, hiring is really, really hard. It takes up a lot of time, and onboarding takes a ton of time. That's why recruiters, like, that's a job. HR is a job. It's because it takes time. And that's time that you could be working on your business and not in your business with this. So creating a talent acquisition system earlier than you think you need it is going to be key for you guys. And when we're hiring people, another thing is like when we're hiring people, we always like, okay, I'm going to hire you to do this and do a really good job. Okay, cool, awesome. No, Like, what people buy into is a vision, right? We're all visionaries here as an entrepreneurs, kingdom-minded, right? We have a vision for our business. We have a vision for our life. We need to communicate that to our team, okay? We need to get buy-in into the vision of where we're going, and that's how you get people to stay with you for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and help build the business with you. Not just the task, not just the video editing, not just the doing this, doing that. We're getting them bought into where they're wanting to go, okay? So to get them bought into where we want to go, to where we're going, is we just need to understand human nature, and everybody wants control, right? I want control, right? Cool. And from a employer perspective, we just need to simply communicate, am I safe? Like, where am I going? Like, does my work matter? Do I have a say in the work? And the more we communicate this to our employees, the more bought in they're going to get into the mission versus just the task and then leave in 3 months, and then you have to rinse and repeat and do this whole thing over and over again, and you become HR, right? So what's helped us is we have like a really dialed in onboarding system. So when somebody actually joins our team, we go through an onboarding system with them and we get them bought into the mission. We have a presentation that we go over. We constantly communicate vision to them, where they're going, why their work matters, like what their role does for the organization, why it's really important, communicating numbers at the business so that they know, okay, if I contribute here, we're going to grow financially, and that's also going to help you. Consistent one-to-ones, asking for feedback, okay? Another thing that's helped us is simply just setting expectations. Any frustration in the world with your wife, with your employer, with your friends, is just an unmet expectation, right? Frustration, unmet expectation. So we need to make sure that we're setting really clear expectations with everybody that we bring onto our team. So what we do is we have a really clear job description. So we have our role, responsibility, and smart expectation. So we're not just like, oh yeah, like we don't just tell them, go do this, and like, yeah, you can like do it by this day, et cetera, et cetera. Like we say, okay, here's the role, like you're gonna be editing videos. Here's the responsibility, okay, I want you to edit videos. They're gonna be trendy, whatever it could be. Here's a smart expectation. I'm gonna have you do 2 a day. I'm gonna have them delivered by this time, by the end of the day. And I'm gonna have you send an end of day report every single day to do that. Okay, that aligns them so that they make sure that they're doing a good job. And then it also sets you up so that you can have expectations that you can line up against them so that you can make sure that they're actually following the expectations that you've laid out. Okay, pretty simple, right? It's like stupid simple. But I think a lot of people miss this when hiring people because it's so easy in a shortcut to be like, oh yeah, just like go do this and like let me know when you're done with it. And then as an employer or employee, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, do I have 4 hours to do this? Do I have 6 hours to do this? Like, what is the actual expectation of it? And it also sets them up for success so that they know that they're doing a good job because they have an expectation to actually meet. Okay, cool. Here's what that looks like, et cetera. And then really, like, you guys need to create trainings and ways to track the KPIs. Like, we just use an EOD form for every single role that we have in place. So if we're doing video editors, okay, we have an EOD form. If we have client success, we have an EOD form. Videographers, EOD form. Pretty simple. We just create the expectations that align with that. At the end of the day, it's up to you guys to have success with other people. Like I see so many times, oh, I'm so frustrated with this person, this team member, they're screwing up, they keep dropping the ball, but it's like, what is the ball that they dropped? Like, how well did you communicate expectations to them? Do they know what the expectations are? And then they freeze and they're like, oh, no, like, I don't know. So at the end of the day, you got to take extreme ownership and make sure that you're setting expectations so that somebody doesn't actually drop the ball, because at the end of the day, it's on you. And these are the same things that helped us grow our team. We had at one point 30 full-time employees, which was a lot of people and a lot of people to manage. So also have some more resources, job descriptions, job postings, all that good stuff, which you guys can feel free to scan. So, all right, y'all, that's the 6 pillars to 7 figures. I know this was fire hose, a lot of information. If you scan this QR code, you'll get all the information, all the resources that we use. So if you're scanning throughout, that's great. But this will give you a link to everything. Thanks so much. Hopefully you guys got some value. Hopefully you got one thing from this that you guys can start applying this week into your business to help grow, prosper, hire people, create more jobs, create more wealth for yourself, for your families, create more time for yourself so you can continue to do things that you love and enjoy, like serving this church. So thanks, guys.